welcome everybody. Whoop, Shimmy's not here. To the VAIL VRML Season 4 EU Double Elimination Bracket, Day number 3. My name's Nightfire with 2 E's. I am your sole conductor into today's journey into the top tier of VAIL on the EU side of things, where we are going into our winners bracket today of the Double Elimination Tournament. It has been a long regular season of 12 weeks of regular season gameplay for these teams, where they battled out against each other to climb the regular season ladder. That ladder then seeded them into this Double Elimination Tournament. I think we had a total of 12 teams starting at the Double Elimination Tournament, and are now down to 6. We have 6 teams left in front of us here. And today we won't be eliminating anyone. We have 2 winners bracket matchups, 2 best of 3s to dive into. And at the end of today, we will know who is going down into our losers bracket tomorrow, where we will dive into 2 best of 3s in the losers bracket and eliminate 2 teams. We'll then be left with just 4. And next weekend we'll have the semifinals and finals for the Season 4 Double Elimination Bracket for EU. So there's a lot left ahead of us for the VAIL side of things on the competitive side for EU. And then NA starts up today with their single elimination top 8 tournament. So we'll be diving into all of this at 2 p.m. PST for NA, but for EU, it's again been last weekend filled with really fun and exciting games to tune into. The Ascenders ascending Ascendancy combo platter there. DNA doing quite well in their matchups. It was again overall a very fun weekend of honestly really high tier VAIL action. We got some really good games, some big clutches, and now as we do get prepared for this series, I anticipate us to get a very good back and forth here. It's Relentless EU versus Ascendancy, the number 1 seed versus the number 4 seed. Relentless EU obviously been playing very strong over the course of the regular season. Done very well so far in the double elim. Both teams not losing any games yet. Let me pull up the bracket. I had it here in front of me. 1 second. Here we go. Yes, Ascendancy playing against DNA last weekend, beating them 2-0 in their series, and Relentless EU going up against Academy, who beat URC at the start of last weekend, and they beat them 2-0. So both teams undefeated. They didn't have to play the first round of the Double Elimination Tournament because of where they were seated. Again, that regular season putting them into a spot where they have a little bit of some. I guess Ascendancy DNA was a pretty close matchup from my perspective in terms of general seeding, but Ascendancy came out on top very strong there. So I do anticipate us to have a very good back and forth here this afternoon, and I think it's going to be a good start to the weekend. I think we're going to get a lot of good games, and I'm hoping a couple of best of 3s. I don't think we had any. No, we had 1 or 2, last weekend, which was obviously very exciting. But I'm hoping we get some best of 3s this weekend. I think they're in the cards. Next weekend, all best of 5s. So next weekend's going to be even more VAIL than this weekend was, or last weekend. Last weekend we also had 2 best of 3 rounds. So I don't know. I again anticipate the Ascendancy going to put up a good challenge here, but obviously Relentless EU, an 11-1 regular season record there. They've been a very strong team, with how they've been playing so far, and so I anticipate that to continue as we do prepare for our first round. I do have teams in lobby, and we are just trying to get set up and ready to go. I'll give them the ready up so they know. And now we wait. I do believe we're waiting on a 5th for Ascendancy, or excuse me, for Relentless EU. I'm sure they don't want to start off down a player in a 4v5 against Ascendancy here, but while we wait, a quick shout out to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action. And a reminder A quick shout out as well to Axe Labs, a reminder that they are sponsoring the VRML with a in-game cosmetic skin that's customly designed for the winning team. It's sold in the store, and a share of that revenue goes to the winning team. It's a really cool system that they've built for us with that ability to sell cosmetics in-game, and the amount of effort that they're putting into the competitive space is great to see. They've been very consistent in supporting the VRML across what has now been 4 regular seasons, 2 conventions. You know, it's been a lot of fun, and so we really do appreciate everything that they have done to support the VRML, and it's 3 conventions. What is it? It's been tremendous. You know, we're looking forward to the future, looking forward to getting into this break that we have coming up after the end of these weekends, and really diving into a lot of stuff that the VRML wants to work on. So anyway, that's enough of me rambling. I bought enough time. We are getting ready to dive into the action. It's round number 1 on Cliffside to open us up. On the defense, we have Ascendancy. On the attack, Relentless EU, as we get ready to dive into the... Oh, no, excuse me, I had that right. Ascendancy on the... Did I have it right? I think I had it right. Let me double check. Yes, I had it right. No. Ascendancy on the attack, Relentless EU on defense. B-site pushes on Cliffside have been dominant. As Bamboozle gets a nice nade through. In through the smokes we go. Taps. Is caught with a grenade in their hand, but does pull up the pistol. One hand. Semtex down and continues their push forward. Can't pick up the second one. Ferdinand scoops up that kill. Scanner has not been planted until now. And we're into a 3v2 retake. Abita going to dive in and try and take sight. That smoke giving some information on where the defense is. Bamboozle catches one, and Abita tries to one-hand the scanner interrupt, but cannot. So let's also go ahead and adjust our scores and maps up top so that we are into the first round of this best of 3 as Ascendancy takes an early lead. Strong opener. Obviously, you want to lock in that pistol round, but a strong opener against a #1 seed here. Pretty good defensive smoke. Going to kind of instantly zone off any early advance down that lane, pushing into B site. Semtex trying to swing wide. Exchanging a bit of fire with Abita out through the middle there, and Abita had the angle for a second. Peeks it for a moment, and the push coming in. Billiam swings wide, catches one. Semtex catches Taps, tries to get Billiam on site and can't, but does force Billiam off of site. On the back line, defense trying to hold tough as Abita fends off that middle push, and the rotation has come in full force, swung in. Everyone's here at B, reinforcing this defense. A nice rotation A would do wonders for this Ascendancy squad, and it seems like they're going to do just that. A perfectly timed rotation as everyone shifts B. The scanner heads over to A, and they're going to get another scanner plant down on the Ascendancy side. Semtex trying to slow the rotation down back towards A now. With a good angle up top, if they hold it, should be able to get Semtex. Eventually, Semtex holding a late deployment here. We'll catch one. Everyone going to get slowed up and halted and distracted by Semtex here as the time ticks down on Scanner. Nice flash. Counter flash doesn't come out in time. Accurate scoops up the kill. Well done there. Put that one in the picture as the push comes through on the site. Kawhi scoops up one. Reality on the arc goes down. A 1 kill, no 2 for Tay. Just a 1 for 1. Scanner still planted, still 1 alive. Scanner getting interrupted now. Vertimon has to push out, and they can't. Kawhi Angle shuts it down. 5 seconds left for 3. They should get Scanner in time, but it's a close one. And we're into our first best of 3 here with a very even Steven opening 1-1 and a heck of an opening rifle round that came down to just two players being alive. I think that's a good indicator of what to expect today, if I were to say so. Smokes at A, and this is an aggressive A site push. Definitely not swinging B, and you can see the overhead team already shifted A, but a very early scanner plant. This is going to be everyone left alive on the retake now with 30 seconds left, 35 seconds on this move, so it's a forced play here. We'll see how this defense holds. Semtex waiting for the swing wide. Knows they'll have the advantage, but Abita still catches the kill. Reality VR trades in a 2-for-2. As the rest of this defense comes barreling in, as only Ferdinand left alive. A smoke there right on site. Ferdinand swings out, and Abita with another kill. They go 2-2 on the round, and Scanner interrupted with 10 seconds left this time. A little less close, a little more dominant of a retake, but I love the play coming in from Ascendancy, the variety there to try and shake up the A-B site. And now if you are on this Relentless EU squad, you got to be wondering, well, okay, what's the next play? You know, they've gone A, they've gone B, they're showing threats both sides. Where do we stack, or do we stack? It really does force the more disciplined spread. It really forces them to go, you know, wide up through A and B site here, and you're seeing that they do keep some defenders tucked into the back. Kawhi is going to probably call out that this is a side push, and look at how quickly this defense starts to rotate back over towards A for the retake.
Scan started.
And it's a learning experience for Ascendancy. It's very interesting to see them trying different things and poking and prodding. Now they're going to try and act off of what they've learned on how this team rotates. Reality on the yard, tucks in, catches one, only one. Should almost had 2 there. That would have been a perfect shutdown of the rotation on this flank, but it's not quite shut down. So now they've got a little bit of an issue. They have to watch for that rotation on their backside, and they are watching. Babuza shuts down 1. Kawhi, meanwhile, picks up Tay on site. We're into a 3v2. Time is ticking, though. 10 seconds left. They have to push this scanner fast. Hands got to get on it, and all they have to do is put a few shots down range. They'll find that with a little urgency forced onto the defense. Ascendancy able to catch a few kills. We're tied 2-2. What an opening. Map number 1 here in this winners bracket matchup. Seed 1 versus Seed 4. Relentless EU coming in with an 11-1 regular season record. Hawaii is going to throw a little off meta position themselves. Again, both teams trying to adjust and learn. Hawaii swings out for 1, can't, but does make it 2. How about 3? No. Ferdinand's here. A site is in control, but not after a bit of chaos. Both teams losing some players, and it's a 2v3. Scanner gets here very late, and the Tabs Billiam rotation isn't quite here in time to stop the scanner. Tucked in, finds 1. Tab still here, tries to fire the whole corner, and the double kill from Semtex clutches it for Ascendancy. They take the lead 3-2. A beautiful 1-2 punch there to lock it in. They're 5-4 on the round. High fives indeed. A-site's been working. The retakes generally, I think a 2-for-1. Ooh, that's a good nade towards Kawhi. Forces him to tuck back. The cross there, able to get over towards A-site, and now they are going to force this rotation, and a very aggressive push out from Tay, trying to catch 1. Does not pay off. Puts them into a 3v4, but Scanner is planted. So again, forcing retake and limiting time for this Relentless EU squad to work. Another kill coming in. Big flank. On the back line, Reality on VR finds one. Now it's time for this duo to push in. They know Reality's way disconnected from the two that are on site, but it's only going to be for a time. Eventually, Reality will get here to defend, and eventually there'll be a pinch coming in onto the one attacker left. Kawhi finds one, looking for the last to do it, and then Scanner. They've got to put a hand on it. Forcing the Scanner interrupt, forcing a disadvantage position there, and a trade, a one-for-one trade with Scanner already planted, leads into Ascendancy's hands. 4-2, map number 1. Not necessarily how I anticipated us to have map 1 opening up, and I gotta wonder if Relentless EU are starting to feel a little bit of that pressure here. That Ascendancy's coming out the gate strong. Offensive half, 4-2 on Cliffside. I guess I don't really know where Cliffside leans when you do get up into like the you know, when you are with these top teams in the EU region. Like, I really don't, like, I'm curious what Relentless EU's offense looks like, you know. And we'll know in 2 rounds when we get to that side spot. Look at this, a very different play coming in, and I love to see that. Ascendancy's still trying to not overcommit to this A site, but they do have Tay very deep behind A. Now with A site defense weakened, they may be forced into a rotation here just because of Tay's position. Smoke is out there saving lives. Ferdinand here does catch tabs out, trying to get an aggressive swing up to the mid. Abita's reinforcing, and they've been a standout shooter so far, but they're caught out in the open. They take a bit of damage and tuck in, half HP. Scanner still not moved towards B site, but Billiam has, and so B-side defense reinforced. A certainly not being pushed now, but a rotation to A, very doable. Coming from Bambuza's position, they can come down through the alleyway here and be at A very quickly. If they can draw the team to B, then this A-site rotation is the rotation to do. But look at the reaction here from this defense. Very nice read to try and come back towards A. Smoke's going to come in just in time, but not before Abita tracks Ferdinand down. Catches the kill. Scanner in Bambuza's hands. They might get it down at A site. This is going to be a big kill for Semtex. If they could get it, they can't. Scanner can't go down because nades are coming in. Finally plants it, but not after being flash blind. Tries to pull up the rifle and can't, and a defensive point locked in. 3-4 on the half with 30 seconds left. Scanner most certainly will be interrupted without issue. I think they're just looking for any sort of resource they want to take with them into the next round, but very solid bounce back for Relentless EU. Is looking like it could have been Ascendancy really starting to take the half. Even still, a 5-3 half, I think, for Ascendancy would be solid here on Cliffside. And so we get into our last round of their attack before we do swap sides and reset economies back to the pistol round. And then we see what we get from there. Sites being pushed fast for the first time since round number 1 here. But look at this little defensive dive Tabs has done. They've gotten behind the offense for a moment, only a moment. Accurate here, scoops up Tay as they come back for the retakes. 30 seconds, 35 seconds on the clock. Accurate taking big damage and a nice tucked in setup here with a 3v2, 2v2. Accurate with a good pickup on the Semtex, a good read there. The cross off of the ensign. Accurate catches the double on the flank. Kiwi and Accurate pinching the duo and finding the kills in time to defuse for a tied half. 4-4. Really nice job from Relentless EU. They are being relentless. Ascendancy with some very on-point offensive attacks, some very good coordination, a variety of plays, a variety of timings, and still Relentless EU able to put 4 defensive points on the board. I think that's maybe more impressive than anything, just because Ascendancy was looking very good there on their offensive half. Now we swap sides, we go to pistol rounds. I gotta wonder what we're gonna get here from Ascendancy defense. We'll go on board Reality on VR. Nice nade there, puts a beat. short pause on the swing up to that hallway, and they're going to get to a little bit of a scrap here, but a trade, 1 for 1 on the overall, and Bergamon still watching that long angle. Avita holding tight the smoke, giving away their position, forcing a rotation off of their defensive angle, and now Bambuza, Tay take down Billiam. I think they're trying to get ahead of the rotation with the angle that Tay is holding. It is all about timing, as they say. So accurate. They will push out. They will get accurate, catch a couple of kills. A couple of hits, excuse me, but rotation to B, they were thinking was called off, but it's certainly not. Everyone else has swung around. You've got the full swing from Kauai, and Obita and Accurate with 1 HP left. Yeah, they have to toss the scanner across the gap because they can't run it. Big flash up top there. Tay catches the 1 bullet they needed onto Obita. Accurate with a nice nade kill. Kauai trying to push in, still at half HP. Scanner's down though. The drop back to pick it up costs them, and Ascendancy take the pistol round again. Another point on the board for them. Another lead in map number 1 against the number 1 seed. Ooh, and Semtex getting aggressive with a 1 for 1. Almost had 2, got big damage onto Obita. Flashes and utility coming over the top. Bambuza staying in a very interesting position there up through the middle, and a lot of utility coming around them, but nothing really quite connecting. And so they'll be able to catch Accurate pushing through. Can they get a second? Maybe not. Bambuza being the main threat here on site. Really using that site as good cover. Tay, meanwhile, pinching from the side. Reality on VR on a potential flank, at least watching for the rotation. Scanner's down, though, on B site, and they can hear it. So it should be a full commit from the defense here to B. In Reality on VR, again, catching Billiam, trying to rotate out. An absolute overwhelming here from Ascendancy. A surrounding on defense. And they may not even let Obita go here. Reality on VR is a bit on the hunt on that back end. And you can see even now, because we're into this double limb bracket, it's tough. We're into that winner's bracket. They're not getting over aggressive. Reality on VR had an opportunity to put, yeah, they can swing all the way through here and hit them from the side, but it's also very aggressive. There's no need for that. They know that they have the scanner down here. They know they've gotten these four kills, and so there's only 1 left. And Obita's half HP, no less, so it's going to be very tough. Catches 1, but time, I think. No, what? Yeah, interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a round, I very rarely see a round end to time. It does, though. And maybe they're trying to kind of use it to strategize, use it to talk, use it to ice out this very locked-in Ascendancy squad right now. And a nice opening pick from Billiam does set things up. Semtex has been a major frontline threat. Tay taking damage too. Tries to get a nade down range, doesn't quite connect. Scanner, meanwhile, pushing towards A site. Reality on VR is going to have to be the main frontline defender there. It's a very slow rollout here from Relentless EU. Again, I think they're trying to slow things down. both with the time taken to end that last round and now this push. I think it's a very tactical choice they're making here, which I do like. It's a great way to try and switch the pacing up of the game. Try and throw off your opponent a little bit. And right now there's a super spread going on Ascendancy's side. A very easy rotation for Ferdinand on the back line there, number 2 on your screen, to come in and rotate all the way from the backside. They can get there pretty quick with that line. But it's happening. Here comes this B-side push. Bamboozah going to be the front line defense, and a nice flash there forces them off an angle, but they'll still catch Accurate out. Tuck back in and stay on a bit of a rotation, swinging wide left and right, but eventually getting pinched. They need reinforcements over the top, and are they going to have it? Ferdinand, Reality on VR, are here into a 2v2. Scanner goes down, and Tay holding the closest angle. Ferdinand denied vision from the smoke, and so now they're going to reconnect. The duo going to try and push together. Tabs catches one. We'll get shot in the back by another. Ferdinand again on the reinforce there. Now into a 1v1. Do they know Kawhi's position? Was certainly not. Kawhi's hearing these footsteps, so they're going to have the advantage on the angle swing. That's Relentless EU bouncing back, putting another one on the board. Chipping away at that 2-point lead. 3 to go for Ascendancy, and they've got themselves a map 1 win. Slow and steady method for Relentless EU worked well last time they got a very early pick. Ferdinand again catching a beat out. I think that's the same kill they had last round on A site. Another early kill from Semtex this time, not going down like they did last round. 5v3 Scanner tucked in and all the way over at A. Cannot afford for this to go down to Reality on VR. It'd be a tough position for the Scanner to be in. But Accurate takes big damage peeking there. Needs reinforcements, and so the duo's trying to push in. Billiam catches one. They're taking a heavy fire from Semtex over the top. They've got Tay on the short angle as well, and so the rotation out of A site has to come in. They can't reinforce towards A well enough. Billiam gets one, tucks back into the pillar for cover. Finds 2, and a huge double kill for Billiam. Absolute mega clutch double kill there. But Accurate, low on HP. Billiam at 75%, going against full HP defenders. Bamboozah, don't think here's this B-side swing. Ferdinand is rotating back to B, like I said, using that back alley to go fast towards B-site, and the duo will connect for the retake. In the smoke, one goes down. In the smoke, the knife kill from Bamboozah. They'll get the Scanner interrupt. And a little jig on top of it to lock in a 7-5 2-point lead. The Macarena coming in. What a clutch right there. Take another look. You love to see the knife coming in to lock in a round win in the postseason, the final 6, the double elimination bracket. Crazy to see that deployed there. Semtex, Bamboozah trading a 1-for-1. B-site getting pushed fast and furious this time. A change of pace again for Relentless EU. They've gone slow the last 2 rounds. They slowed down a round before, and now they're pinching, collapsing, and surrounding B-site. A successful take. Scanner goes down, and it's a 2v4. Ferdinand's location given away. Reality on VR just a bit away from having an impact. Yeah, Beta holding the tighter angle there. Made it very tough. Ferdinand finds one. Has to transfer to 2 and 3 here. As they do cross, they'll catch Billiam. And Billiam finds the line to the back of the head. 7-6, chipping away at the 2-point lead. Not letting Ascendancy run away with this one. Ascendancy 2 away from taking a map victory. And Tay, the winner by 25% of their health. The winner nonetheless. And Semtex, close quarters, catches Taz. SMG to the face. Are they ready for the second? Because there is more here. Reality on VR says, don't worry, I've got you over the shoulder. And Scanner now slowly working its way towards a site, but it's alone, or now at least reinforced by a Beta in a 2v5. Bambuza. Everyone surrounding in a Beta here, dropping all the way back. Scanner getting interrupted. Most certainly will be defused. And around into the pocket of Ascendancy. And a quick cat tax for everyone at home. She was purring, for what it's worth. We'll get the chunky one on cam later. Back into the round we go. This could be map point for Ascendancy. And an aggressive A-side push. A little bit of a different approach than what they've been deploying here. Reality on VR tucking in. They've got the Overwatch from Ferdinand, but it's smoked out. Reality on VR swings wide for one. Drops back into the smoke for cover. Needs reinforcements, and they're finding it. Reality scoops up two. A huge play here from Ascendancy, and it's looking like this could be map number 1 in their pockets in this best of 3. And Ascendancy, the underdogs in the regular season, 6-7, compared to an 11-1 Relentless EU performance. We'll take map number 1. Let me update that score line there. 9-7. A heck of an opener in our first best of 3 of the afternoon, to say the least. But it's prompted a timeout from the Relentless EU squad. So we're going to go to our first break of the afternoon, but not before watching a few of those replays, because, wow, what a... Oh. My replay is not the most recent one. That's okay. Oh, it's because it's playing. Well, that's all part of it. That's how it goes sometimes. But a fantastic series, and we're off to a good start. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes for map number 2 in our first best of 3 of the afternoon. A reminder, we have another one right after this, so don't go anywhere. More VAIL EU double elimination bracket action coming up. Welcome back, everybody. We are diving right into our next map. There's no time to be wasted. They're already cracking into it. It's round number 2 of this best of 3, and we're headed towards Miru. We've got no time to delay, no time to waste. We don't have time for a fancy intro. We're kicking things off with Ascendancy on the defense, Relentless EU on the attack for our second round of the afternoon. Our second map, excuse me, I should say. And a shout out to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action so far this evening. We do greatly appreciate you. Please do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. The thumbs up button helps a lot. But our pistol opener here kicking off. And Miru heavily played, obviously, over the course of last weekend in the postseason, and now we're going to see it here with the best of the best, battling it out. 1 seed versus 4 seed, and Relentless EU down a map, no less. So they've got to be coming in this one with a bit of a vengeance. Scanner's going to go down from Accurate. The nade that came in did not connect, and there's 5 alive on the side of Relentless EU right now, and the Scanner's been planted and beat. Very odd opening pistol round, one you typically wouldn't see going this way, but it is. Scanner's getting interrupted, and I like the move, actually. It forces these players to fly out with their pistols in hand, but they connect, every one of them, and Accurate and Abita shut down the retake. A decent effort from Ascendancy, but a very strong opening pistol round for Relentless EU to connect with on their offensive half. Coming in off of a timeout, slowing things down, speeding things up. I really like what Relentless EU is doing to try and find the advantage wherever they can. It's a pursuit of tactical advantages, and I like that. Everything, using your timeouts, slowing down the round, it's all part of trying to shift the pace up, you know, and then just try and throw off the opponent, try and get them out of the rhythm they're in, because they're in a rhythm right now. Ascendancy looked very good on Cliffside. That's just how it went. That's why they beat the number 1 seed. They came into Cliffside incredibly prepared. They had plans, they had strategies, they had, again, the exact same push-pull that we're talking about in timing. We'll see what they're able to do here on defense. I have a creeping feeling that we could be going to a map 3 in this first best of 3 this afternoon. Whew, and a huge flank from Reality on VR all the way on the back line. Does not come through and connect. Maybe slows things down for a moment. With 40 seconds left, Accurate is trying to full send the Scanner towards A, but they do take a quick pause. They don't overcommit without the rest of the team, which is a smart move. You don't want to have that Scanner down and the rest of your team not there to reinforce. Everyone's home on this defensive front line, though, and it's Bambuza and Semtex absolutely shutting down the barrage of Relentless EU attackers. Everyone getting cut down in an equally powerful defensive round with 4 left alive. Ascendancy answer back, a lot like how Relentless answered back in map number 1 on Cliffside. So it's yeah, we're into a good one. This is maybe a preview of what could be the grand finals, technically, you know, because the loser here going to go down into the losers bracket. They'll have a few games to play to challenge again the winner again. So there very well could be a rematch in store between these two teams, but for now, it's winner moves on to semis, loser goes to the losers bracket. And a nice time swing from Semtex out of the smoke, really utilizing it well, dipping in and out of it for cover. They end up impacting them negatively here with Tabs, but Tabs and Ferdinand trade, so Semtex still a threat, and they'll fly out for another, making it no, not a third. The nade bounces into Scanners, into sight though, and Bambuza follows it up. A powerful ascendancy point coming in here on defense again, up 2-1 on map number 2. And I mean, it is, yeah, this is series map, maps. How do you say that? Series map, I think, for ascendancy. They win this map, they win this best of 3, they move on. If they lose, we go to a best of, we go to that third map. Kind of puts the pressure on Relentless EU, a pressure that maybe they haven't felt a whole lot of during the regular season, going 11-1 in the regular season. I think at this point too, if we're to evaluate the mental game, evaluate how both these teams have to be feeling, I think Ascendancy's running with the energy of winning, and you know, obviously feeling good coming in here to map 2 already in a lead. Semtex catching a kill here. Hawaii tries to swing on to Tay and cannot find the kill, but Scanner does go down for a 3v3. Ferdinand with a good swing on to Tabs. The retake coming in. Semtex catches, accurate, catches Abita. The Scanner interrupted by Ferdinand with plenty of time on the clock, and Ascendancy pile on to their round, to their lead. It's defensive half for them, though, again. And so I think Miru's 60-40 in terms of defense, offensive, win-lose priority. You know, my kind of general vibe, you know, if you go 5-6-2, 5-3, that's pretty good on offense. You know, if you're able to, or on defense, excuse me, if you're able to get 3-round wins on offense, I think that's a pretty good setup for you to swap sides. But truthfully, I don't really know what we're gonna get in this series. Ascendancy are on point right now, and Relentless EU came in strong with the pistol round. They're coming in strong here on the site on B, and they are going to get this Scanner down with plenty left alive. Drop back and tuck in to defend the retake. Maybe push up and fight. Kauai picks up a double. Huge double kill there. Puts the team into a nice position. 3-2 for Relentless EU. Scanner down. 25 seconds on the clock. A nice swing from Semtex, finds one, can't reload in time to connect with 2. Accurate here on the corner, picks up a double. Chipping away at the Ascendancy lead is Relentless EU with another offensive point. Take another look at that one, a nicely timed swing and reload there from Accurate. Discipline to not reload after finding the first kill as well. A lot of players, a tendency to reload, like, you know, very quickly after they shoot. And B is pretty dead, so you're seeing a very heavy shift from what was a B stack to an A stack now. A site definitely being pushed, but Bambuza's here to defend. They shut down one. Tay connects with a grenade. Accurate scoops up a double to get rid of the on-site defense. Scanner in hand will also find the plant, and it's a 3v3. 3v2. 2v2. Players getting chipped away one at a time. Tay on site to defend. Has to get up there and interrupt that Scanner. Where's the rest? They're going to be able to get there in time. Billiam is here. They swing wide. Connects with one. Through the smoke, they're going to have to push out. That's information that Tay works with. Tabs almost finds the double kill. But it'll stay a 2-point lead for Ascendancy.
Scan interrupted. Round starting. Get ready.
Just pouring my first cup of coffee, but I feel like I haven't needed it with how this series has been going. Splendid. Yum, yum, yum. Nade coming out from Semtex. It's a good toss, but it's a little late. The timing nearly perfect here. The knowledge from Semtex to understand what a fast push at B could look like. The prediction, as well as Kawaii does, manage to go through the fire and flame and put that scanner down. 4 alive on the offense as they tuck back for the retake. What do we look like on the overhead? We'll jump over to Reality on VR, who's going to be pushing down Broadway there. As the on-site defense does work out. Tams catches the kill. Now they can swing around and refocus on what is this retake. Tay and the rest of the team crashing in. Shots on the front line. Semtex, Tabs, Tay over top as Kawaii goes down. And finally, Tay connecting. There's a Ferdinand actually on the shoulder there. And another dance, another celebration, another point. A 3-point lead for Ascendancy as they creep and crawl closer to a series win here and an advance on to the semifinals next weekend. Ooh, and Accurate opening things up with a really good nade on the Ferdinand. Semtex bouncing back with one onto Avita. Reality on VR. Tabs, Reality on VR. The scanner is down and Accurate is stuck, not able to rotate out with no smoke or any cover. Defense on the retake. Semtex comes flying in for a kill. Kawaii has to shut down the scanner interrupt, and they'll find Semtex. The nade comes over top from Reality, and the pinch from the duo comes through. Ascendancy is dialed in. With a solid final defensive round, they'll put it up 6-2 with a 4-point lead as we swap sides and reset economies to a pistol round. Now I gotta wonder, is that enough for Relentless EU on offense to be effective here on defense? They've got 2 points. It's a little bit of a cushion. It's not going to come down to this pistol round to decide the whole thing, but I don't know. We'll see. Down, gonna force the retake. Good swing out. Semtex with the knife throw. Gets picked off by Kawaii. The flank coming in on the backside from Reality on VR. Is it gonna pay off? I think Scanner, yeah, is being interrupted. Reality on VR did not push in time. A nice pistol round, but let's see if I caught that one on cam. I think I did. The knife throw from Semtex. That is awesome. Didn't win him the round, but still always fun to see. B is on the menu, says Ascendancy. Opening clip there. Tabs stuck in the smoke, not able to see what's happening on Scanner, but flies out for a double. Refragged by Semtex. The retake coming in strong. Nade whizzes past their head, but doesn't connect. But Scanner did go down. So the retake coming through here with a nice smoke to deny some vision. Hawaii baiting out the interrupt. 2 kills connect. Ferdinand with 1. The swing for 2, 3. No. Accurate shuts it down. And with 22 seconds left, will interrupt that Scanner, put up another point on the board for Relentless.
Scan interrupted. Round starting.
Heck of an opening series here this afternoon. Map 196. I apologize on the wrong score there. Map 2 here. Well, we'll see. But so far, going good for Ascendancy as they catch 1, 2, trade back and forth to manage to get control of this A site. In the smoke and chaos, the scanner will go down. No, accurate catches with that nade connection there. Swings wide, Billiam and Tabs and everyone overwhelming the on-site. And that's a good retake. That's what you're looking for when you want a retake. Everyone collapsing, everyone pinching together. Relentless EU locking it in on defense 3 in a row and chipping away at this lead from Ascendancy. We've seen this from Relentless. A bit of a slowdown, a bit of a spread. Poking and prodding at the defense. A little jump information for Billy. I'm going to swing wide onto A in a 1-for-1. Abita here to defend A site as well, but was it enough to draw the defense over? Not quite. Tab's still sitting here on the B side stairs. Doesn't want to commit to rotating over towards A just yet. They're hoping maybe Ferdinand, and this distraction will draw a little bit of attention. And it does, as you see, there's a little questioning. Do I turn? Do I go? Here comes the swing in, and Abita catches Ferdinand. A site remains defended, but now B site gets low, forcing that mid sort of hold. Where do I go? BA, BA. Scanner goes down, and now we're into a 3v2. Retakes have been good so far from Relentless. A nice swing out there, but Tay on the back line. 1 of 2 left alive for Ascendancy. Puts the first offensive point for Ascendancy on the board. Maybe we're headed to an 8-8. Maybe we're headed to an OT. Just maybe. Pressure's on if you're Relentless EU, though. You gotta take some deep breaths. Find solace in the fact that you're at least in the winner's bracket. A loss here bumps you down to playing tomorrow. A win here bumps you to next weekend. And again, another bit of a slow-moving, patient play here, but this time instead of a spread, it's a heavy stack to B. Maybe you're seeing an accurate read coming in from Hawaii. That no one's home. Could end in a long-term flame. Could end an on-site defense being a little weak. Billiam here getting pushed. Tabs in the smoke will fly out for a kill as well. Picks up 2, 3, no, but a lot lost. Reality on VR. Catches kills. Scoops up Scanner. Can they get it down in time to drop back? No, they can't. They're getting pressured from all the angles, and they'll go down before Scanner's planted. Bit more of a powerful defensive round there. Puts us to 6-7 in map number 2. A nice opener here for Kawaii. Reality on VR has been a big killer. Do wonder if it's enough to draw A-site defense here, because B is where the push is coming. Semtex nades Billiam. The back line still there on defense. Tabs getting flashed, but they're here and they're tucked in. Scanners getting planted, and they are going to push in through the smoke to be a threat. But they're not able to find much. The smoke wall really kind of drawing the attention away. As Bambuza on the back line catches a kill or two. A little rotation happening here. And the scanner, not interrupted. Bambuza connects with 2 through the smoke. And it's a double that puts us to series point for Ascendancy. And a little celebration. Bambuza autographing the gun. What a play, and the pressure is on for Relentless EU. They need 3 defensive rounds in a row. Very doable with how they've been playing defense. It's been solid so far, but they've shown a little weakness on A site, or excuse me, B site. That's been the target of these attacks the last few rounds. Just got to keep playing your game, stay focused. Again, not eliminated after this if you lose, but you do go down to the loser's bracket tomorrow. Hearts are racing on Relentless EU. Tay finds an early kill. Kiwi trying to pick up something up through the mid. 45 seconds left, and the push has to come in soon. There's a big A-side prediction here coming in from Relentless EU. It's a risky maneuver because there's no clear commit yet on to where the scanner's going, and Billiam shuts down an early advance towards B. Flashes coming through. Flights scattered across, and Billiam clutches it up with 2. Can they find the third? No, they can't. They can! It's a quadra kill for Billiam on site. Relentless EU, stay alive. It only matters when you come online, and Billiam came online when it mattered most. 4 kills on B site that shut down what could have been game point. Relentless EU almost pushing us to an OT. Fantastic back and forth here this afternoon. And just for maybe 20 seconds, as that knife whizzes past Billiam's head, take a bit of a breather. Early kill from Relentless EU. Accurate, shutting down any advance through the mid. Scanner lingering at the backside of B and not committed yet. Another early kill, accurate with another down midfield. Semtex finally with the first kill for Ascendancy. They'll need a few more to get things rolling. On site, scanner still alive. A trade there on A. Puts us into a 3v2. Relentless EU
30 seconds remaining.
have 30 seconds separating them from an OT. Splashes coming in onto site. The push not connecting. Bambuza finds one. Tabs trades back. 2v1. Scanners down. The retake here as Bambuza drops back into smoke. Has the 1v2 in front of them to lock this in. They can't find it. Tabs connects. Relentless EU take us to overtime in map 2. and it goes to do or die. Do, you advance on to another round, to the third in this best of 3. Die, you go down the loser's bracket tomorrow. Ascendancy take it in 2. Oh my, oh my. It doesn't get much better than this on the casting desk. Let's take a look at the overhead. Where's the play coming in? It looks like B stacked heavy here. They've done some spreads. They've done some slow moves. Ascendancy's now going to commit heavy to an aggressive play when it matters most. Clutch or kick. The swing wide. Billiam catches 1, but there's 2 down. Ferdinand picks up a double. Scanner's getting planted at B, and it's a very aggressive play from Ascendancy. All the smokes are here. They're feeling confident. They're having trouble with the scanner. Bambuza took a long time to get the scanner down. Finally gets it planted. Abita comes flying out of the smoke, finds 1. Has to find more. Smoke onto scanner now. They're going to try to interrupt. No, they're going to bait it out. They have to bait out the swings. They can't find the first kill that they need. Kawaii going to push in. It comes down to them. Clutch or kick. 20 seconds. And they can't find the kill. It's Ascendancy taking the series. We can't believe it. It's unbelievable. Ascendancy lock it in 2. Amazing job from that Ascendancy team to come out in overtime and pull off an incredibly confident, fast play when it mattered most. That takes a lot of commitment, a lot of guts, and I am super happy that we watched all of that every round. What a battle. Relentless EU play tomorrow in the loser's bracket, and the number 1 seed has taken their 2nd loss all regular season. And that's just how it goes sometimes in the postseason tournament. The double elimination, day 3, kicking off strong. That's going to be a tough one to stand up to, but we do have our next series being prepared now. Vanguard Gaming EU versus Asterix will be coming up on this channel next. We are going to go to a brief break as we set up that series and let our heart rate slow down a little bit, because wow, what a amazing opener to day 3 of the double elimination bracket for EU. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with another best of 3 in the winners bracket. Welcome back, everybody. We are here and preparing for our second best of 3 in the Season 4 EU double elimination bracket. It's the postseason tournament for those that are just tuning in. A quick fill you in. We have... Oh, I can't fill you in. I told them we were ready, and they were ready. And so we're going to dive right into our second best of 3. I'll explain it more as we do get into the action, but it is going to be Cliffside to open up map number 1 as we reset the scores and get into another exciting battle back and forth. On the defense, we have Vanguard Gaming EU. On the attack, we have Asterix. Let's see what we get. Both teams again coming up through that winner's bracket. Pistol round opener here, and Vanguard Gaming stacking heavy to B site. Knock opens it up with an early pistol kill. He's going to get through the B side. Smokes going down to a swing wide. There's a nice kill from Sandy up through the mid. Battling through these smokes, trying to connect in blind fire, but not finding much. A nice flash over the top should blind Mushroom. Here comes the full-on retake from Vanguard Gaming EU as they've barreled through Asterix, who had sight control but lost it. Scanners down, and there's low HP across some of the defenders. Screwin has an opportunity to find 1 or 2, and maybe an over-aggressive swing here. Robert goes down. I like the smoke. Denies vision of one of the angles on them and opens up the 1v1 onto Gooblin, who's also low HP. Is Screwing gonna check the short corner. They will. They swing the Gooblin. They can't find Frenzy, but it came down to the 1v1. And you'll love to see it. An opener for Vanguard Gaming that ends in a pistol round win, but just barely. A site on the menu here. We'll see. Sandy and Silent can make it happen. After that nade came out, they figured maybe we won't go down that long alley. A little bit of utility coming in through here, not quite connecting. Frenzy may end up being the first on the menu. Finds a big shot there to the face, but doesn't go down. Very low HP. On site being pushed and multiple kills connecting to open up A. A very good swing in here from Asterix. It's going to come down to Frenzy. And Population on the retake. They were so busy locked in on defending B site that now with 4 left alive, Scanners down, and Frenzy's low on HP, Population full, so 1.2 versus 4. 1.8. Oh, 1.2. I did the math right the first time. Flies through the smoke and the quick 1-2 punch. Asterix right back in it with a nice defensive opener there. A good A-site push. I think I heard in the pregame lobby before we muted the comms that there was a scrim between Asterix and I want to say Ascendancy. Just before Ascendancy got into their best of 3. That was a bit of a warm-up. And I wonder if maybe that's the case. Just Asterix are going to be dialed in and on point here, because Ascendancy obviously coming out on top. Gooblin tucked in, waiting to spring their trap. Robert has him flying in through the smokes. Will connect, and Gooblin, Population, and Robert all cutting down an A-side swing that got a little bit too committed. Dove past the defense and didn't have their backs covered. The smoke obviously causing chaos, but for both sides, as Vanguard fly in with a strong defensive round. Very fast and immediately denying that A-site push. It might cause a little bit of a... Well, it's a really good answer back to essentially that A-site round win they had. As Robert finds a double here, a huge snag. On kills, Mushroom tucks in the smoke and catches the bullets of Gooblin. Gooblin does go down to Screw, and we're into a 2v3 that somehow ends up sort of favoring Asterix as the A side is completely open, and the retake here coming in. Knock blinded on the cross. They do have Overwatch from Population, who's found a couple of kills already, and Frenzy rotating in. Everyone at full HP. Scanner's down, the pinch coming in. They're trying to collapse on what they know is an offense tucked into the corner, and there's one. Population looking for two. Natman still full HP, has the high ground, but Knock connects from the side, and it's a Scanner interrupt. A little bit harder fought of a defensive round at A site. We love to see the trading back and forth here at A. What do you keep doing? Do you send it A again? Do you finally commit to a B side push? Do you slow things down and then go A? There's a lot of options, obviously, and we saw that really in full swing just last best of 3. We'll see how these teams react, what VGG is going to bring, what Asterix will do when it's their turn to defend. Very curious as we do get into another offensive point, and one that seems to be a B-side commit. Catches Frenzy. B-site is taken. Nice flash over the top, does blind. Scanner still not down. Trying to fend off the retake and a swing in from Population. The double kill. Robert finishing things off on the back line. And a little bit of a jig. A little bit of a dance. A little bit of a 3-point lead from Vanguard Gaming EU. They make it a double. Priming the nade there onto the corner, and everyone collapsing. Sandy catches one, but Gooblin here, a relentless pursuit on defense.
Round starting.
That was a different sort of defensive round than we've been seeing. Absolutely denying that B-side setup whatsoever, and it's got to force the A-side push here. And I wonder if they're going to stack A-side defense a little bit in anticipation of this swing. We get them a heavy up the middle push. Silent connects with a nice nade. Gooblin still tucked in here, dives into the smoke. Can't find any with the double smoke wall. Eventually they'll dissipate and he'll be in a position to trade 1-for-1. Meanwhile, the retake coming in. Frenzy. Knock all here rotating through. Eventually they'll get back on the site, but Scanner's down and time is ticking. 30 seconds on the clock. Mushroom and the rest of this offense is set up, ready, and waiting. A good Overwatch angle from Silent Platoon as well. Population's going to swing wide. Are they going to be ready for Sandy tucked into the corner? They're not. Frenzy now has to dive in. Challenging Mushroom on the short side. Silent Platoon over the top, and Sandy finishing it off. Asterix bounce back with an offensive point here on Cliffside. Final round of the half, and if they go 5-3, I think that's a pretty, actually a solid offensive opening for them. bit of teamwork between Silent and Sandy there. A lot of kills coming into the mid as Frenzy runs low on ammo. Does connect, though, eventually off the reload. And we switch over to Sandy alone in a 1v3. Scanner in hand, and I think they're trying to rotate B, but look at the cutoff coming in over the top. Maybe a bit of an over-aggressive send. If Sandy stays here too long, they are going to be in a bit of a bind. They got the long angle, they've got the short. Sandy does drop back. Catches the rotation from Gooblin, but doesn't find the kills, and VGG.
We're switching sides.
6 and 2 on the half, and we swap sides. Might have been enough, might not have been. We'll find out. We'll see what VGG's bringing to the table on the attack, what the defensive asterisk looks like, because VGG, if they did one thing in particularly well on defense, it was their ability to react and rotate. Banner's down, but Silence on the back end on the retake. Gooblin holding things down for a moment, but there's Silent again on the back line. Silent and Deadly scoops up another kill. We're into a 2v2. 30 seconds on the clock. Nox staying in reserve as Mushroom takes out Population, and now they're the only one to hold down the scanner. Push has to come through. They have to put their hands on it for the interrupt. Nade comes out. Nox catches one. Can't pick up the double. A great bit of teamwork there. Puts Snapman into a position to interrupt Scanner. Very little time left on the clock with 5 seconds left. But it's 3-6. Asterix lock in that pistol round and chip away at that lead. A nice opener for them on their defensive half. But it is an opener. We now go to the rifle rounds, and I do anticipate that we could see an aggressive play here coming in from VGG on the attack. Tucked in defense here. They're going to allow them to have this A site and the scanner. They do manage to take down the B side distraction, and so now everyone can rotate. What's the setup look like, though? Tuck in is the name of the game here. 30 seconds left. The retake is on. Silent Platoon screwing. Mushroom only finding one. Robert with another as well. Over the top. Gooblin finds another, and there's the third. VGG, their first offensive point, adding back to their lead. 7-3, looking to take this map one in dominant fashion. 2 away from doing just that. Puts them in a comfortable spot to rotate, be aggressive. Makes it hard to defend against because you're going to get that optional full send, maybe a slowdown. There's just a lot of confidence right now in this team as they push forward. And a little bit of a different pace here you're seeing as they go crouch and slow things down. Different spread as well on defense. Mushroom pushed up here early. Getting aggressive for an early pick could cost them if they're not ready for this duo to be stacked here. And again, it's going to come down to timing. So if they can stay tucked in and find the kills when hands are on nades, no, they only get one. A site is the play, though. Screwing. Silent Platoon. And on the main site, Sandy holding things down, finds the first kill. The retake is coming in. Gooblin's tucked in, waiting for this swing. They're going to be ready for the tight corner here. Screwin finds one. The trade there ends us to a 2v2. And as we swing back and forth, Nox the last one alive.
Match point.
And a full-on shootout that puts us to match point here. VGG up map 1, 8-3 here. Asterix going to have to do something. 6 in a row is what they need now at this point. maybe doable on defense, but against a team like Asterix and how they're playing, it's gonna be tough. They're definitely changing it up, and now B-site push here coming in. The 3-2 split. Silent catches one on the back line. They're gonna be savvy enough to know that Frenzy is here already, and they draw up for another. Scanner's down, but on the reload, Population finds the refrag. There's only 2 left alive in a 2v4 with Scanner down towards B. It's gonna be a nice bounce back for Asterix if they play it cool. They know where this push is coming from. Population does get Scanner, though, and that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. Now it could be A-site. Ooh, and that man with the trade. Scanner goes back down. Sandy going to be holding this main line. Is not going to have to swing over for it, and Screwin will see them out over the top. A solid hold for Asterix.
Match point.
Every round is match point. They'll be hearing it at the start of every round. Oh, and a good short corner peek there. Gooblin came flying in. B-site in quick control by Vanguard Gaming. It's a 4v3, 3v3. Scanners down. 2v3. The short swing from Gooblin again, and it finds another kill. It's Sandy trying to lock in map 1. Clutch or kick in the 1v3 as knives, nades, and utility come flying at them. It's VGG taking map number 1, 9-4. A bit reminiscent of the Ascendancy early win, 9-6. A little bit more commanding in those later rounds, it felt like. But I did like to see Asterix fight back there. A couple of good rounds from them in that front half, and then the beginning of their defensive half. But VGG on point right now. The number 2 seed versus the number 3 seed. Comparison to that number 1, 11-1 record from Relentless EU, Vanguard Gaming EU, 11-2. Asterix an impressive 8-4 as well, but still, this VGG squad playing well. And I gotta wonder if Vanguard Gaming was anticipating that if they win here, they'd be going up against Ascendancy in the semifinals. Maybe they were feeling they would be going up against their number 1 seed counterpart, Relentless EU, but Relentless EU's knocked down into that losers bracket. They lost their best of 3 earlier today, and looks like we are getting a timeout called by Asterix. This ended up working off pretty well for Relentless EU, and they called their timeout. We saw them come back very strong in map 2, brought us to that overtime 8-8, but we'll see what it does for Asterix. Does look like we are going to take a 5 to 10 minute break. When we come back, we'll be diving into map number 2 in this best of 3 series. Don't go anywhere. More VAIL Season 4 EU double elimination bracket action in a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We are diving in to map number 2 of this series. It's Miru Night. To decide if VGG are advancing to the semifinals against Ascendancy, or if we're going to a third map. That's where we are at here on Miru. VGG in the lead. They are on defense? No, offense. No, I had it right. There we go. Asterisk on defense for VGG on the attack. The opening exchange on B side, a bit chaotic. Tucked in the smoke still is one that pops out, and eventually population getting into a 1v2 will go down. On site, scanners planted, and the push from Mushroom is going to be tough alone in the 1v3. VGG with control of site, and with the momentum in their favor, they take an early pistol lead here in map 2.
Round starting.
Shout out to everyone stopping in, hanging out, and enjoying the action. Happy we're able to deliver you these games live. Big shout out to the players and the teams participating, obviously. A lot of fun. Oh, and that man somehow died. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, disconnect. An unfortunate one at that, as Asterisk now down to 4v5 when they lead it at least to 4v3 now as they retake advantage. Scanner going down by Frenzy at B, though, and they're going to drop back. Flash in tow. It should stop. It was a little bit of a pressure there. Gooblin catches kills over the top. Sandy trying to hit from the flank. They need to coordinate and sync up on this move, though, as the smoke comes in. Silent pushes up and trades. Gooblin finds 2 through the smoke. Knock cleans up Sandy on the flank. VGG put another one on the board. A clean hold from that retake coming through. A good 2-point opener on the attack, no less, on Miru. Good peek there from Sandy. Utility coming in left and right. They have the flank coming in from Frenzy, and Frenzy connects with 2. Opens up A site just a bit. Silent Platoon with the refrag. Keeps things into that player advantage for them, and the scanner is down at A, and I think they hear this, so they know and are pushing in. Population not finding much success breaking through that line. Knock catches one, looks for more, but misses the cross there, and Asterix maybe putting their first defensive point on the board unless Knock clutches up the 1v2 at half HP. A minute left to work with to try and get out and get that scanner. Does commit all the way out into the open. Neither defender peeking out to him. And now Nock going to have an interesting angle on the side. Call out comes in. Hey, he's here, and I like the peek on both sides. Good teamwork. Good coordination. Asterix fight back. Their defensive round when they need to put these points up on the board most in what typically is like a 60-40 spread. 60% round wins going to defense. You definitely want to limit any more rounds going into that VGG's hands because they have been playing good so far. 9-4 in map 1. It's definitely still lingering in the back of the minds of Asterix. And these nades connecting, Nock and Frenzy, finding kills on the side is Sandy for the first kill for defense. They'll quickly go down though, and what was a very good answer back from VGG saying, hey, nice point, but we'll just go back to B site. Lock in a round win there. Come in strong 3-1. The utility really flying in and connecting there, screwing with an early double kill with the nade rifle kill, and then another nade coming in from Frenzy. Tough when you're on defense, just trying to sit under that back line and holding things down. Does go to show you how prepared VGG is, how dialed in they are. Mushroom with a nice kill there. Farrells gets pushed out, but just at the right time. They'll find the kill as well. B-side a little bit weak on defense, a little bit weak on offense, quite frankly. It's a 3v3 here. As Scanner does get planted in the chaos. A 1-for-1 trade. On the back line, the flank goes down, and now Nock has to crash back to stop that scanner from getting interrupted. Ends up throwing a bit of utility on the scanner, even though no one was quite home, and Mushroom tucks in. 1v1, HP nearly equal, Nock a little bit lower. And Mushroom is going to push them off nicely, then they're going to go for scanner. It's a big rotation from Nock all the way around to the other side, and they're going to try and stick. They pop off, 15 seconds left. Nock is buying time. And now they have to commit to interrupting the scanner. And they may have grabbed it just a little too late. Nock is going to come pushing in. They're going to one-hand the scanner, and Nock will connect. A nice attempt, but perfectly played by Nock to buy out that time to rotate long. Just at the right time. I think if they had stuck, they could have stuck the scanner. I think they could have stuck the scanner interrupt if they hadn't pulled off to stop Nock from rotating. But I'm not sure what Nock would have done if they hadn't been shot at there either, so. Close one, but VGG are in clear control of this series right now. They've got map 1 dialed in, and now they're looking to get map 2 here. And a nice swing. Silent Platoon picks up a double. Makes it 3 on the back end. Doesn't reload in time for the 4th, but Gooblin now is overwhelmed, and they'll go down. Scanner on the ground. B-site push completely denied, and Nock alone in a 1v4. What a shift. What a good defensive hold here from Asterix, putting another point on the board. Goes to show you this Asterix team deserved of this top 8 position, deserved of being in that number 4 seed. Showing that they can challenge the number 2. Just a matter of consistency that comes into play now here. Asterix really got to put 2 more up on the board on defense. They need to play as impressively as they did that last round for the next 2. And I got to imagine VGG are thinking A-site push again with how successful that was. But they did lose. They've lost rounds on both sides now. So I don't know what VGG wants to prioritize here. Maybe just a bit of a different B-side push. A very different pace. VGG completely pausing and slowing things up. Just seeing if they can bait out a little bit of an impatient defense from Asterix. Screwing the real potential culprit here, but they are pretty tucked in. Sound Platoon pretty tucked in. And now the push comes in fast and furious. This Frenzy, nades, and utility connect. Frenzy catches one. The scanner does go down. Sandy catches one on the back line. And the push coming in from the back. Screwin goes down. Robert picks up that kill, but we're into a 2v3. Scanners planted. Sandy's low. Mushrooms full. Gonna be a very hard retake here. They've had a hard time getting through this line. Mushroom catch is actually a key defender here. Robert still tucked in, and they could bait out this defensive swing from Robert. It's just a matter of timing. And Mushroom trades on the short corner. Gublin alone as the last alive.
Starting. Get ready.
Close rounds. Asterix right there battling. Look at the KDs, you can see. Silent Platoon Mushroom coming alive here. Gublin 10 and 3. And again, a change of pace. Two collapsing up through the middle. Screwin finds their first kill of the half. Barrelos with a nice pickup, a double there, and now Gublin suddenly alone in a 1v3. Scanner down, and they're trying to fend off the swing wide. A good third point to tack onto the board for Asterix. Worthy of a Macarena celebration? I'm unsure. They've got a bit of a ways to go. 4 points left for VGG, but 7 for Asterix. A lot of round wins. Or excuse me, 6 for a lot of round wins needed here on the offensive side. A pistol opener could be a good opportunity, especially on the attack. You have that advantage when you're stacking heavily on the one side, pushing in. More pistols, more power, as they say. I'm pretty sure that's the same. Screwing open things up. Robert with a quick refrag on the back line. Scanner did get slowed down on the back there, and Farrell's and everyone on the attack getting caught up in that pacing shift. Mushroom alone now in a 1v2, 1v3, excuse me. They'll get picked off.
Round starting. Get ready.
Something happened to population in the chaos there, and not what VGG necessarily need, but another point on the board for them, so they'll take it on their opening defensive round. Does look like maybe a disconnect coming in there, and that's going to put VGG into an early 4v5. Maybe they'll come back in time to defend. When they have reconnected, so we're back to 5v5. VGG not at a disadvantage. Gublin connecting with a nade. Utility again coming in, connecting. Asterix doing a good job of getting into the setup phase, but then it's just a matter of the execution. Population finally does disconnect there. Not when they need them to. Nox still cleans it up, and VGG goes 7-3.
Round starting. Get ready.
2 more, and they've got themselves a series win. They've got themselves an ascendancy best of 5 next weekend. To see the aggression here, stacking in heavy, trying to commit to overwhelming this VGG defense, and it's an aggressive move from Asterix that puts them in to a 1v2. Mushroom trying to react to this flank coming in from Robert. Do they know it's here is a question. They will now as they do connect onto that kill. Does take them down to half HP though, and Frenzy full and ready to defend against this swing. They know the scanner's down. Mushroom's here, and they get surprised by the peak. VGG 1 away. 8-3, map 2 here. A solid performance from them despite being down a player on defense. VGG last round and now this round are going to go in at a bit of a disadvantage. It's an opportunity for Asterix to take a point or two. But I think the real way you have to play it then is stacking heavy into one side and pushing. These fights up the middle have not really been paying off. As VAIL does catch a nice flash onto Robert. They'll be looking for more on the back line, but they won't quite find it. Frenzy scoops up a double, is looking for a third. Mushroom will find that one. The rotation from Knock around the side. They'll get picked up in Mushroom with a double. Now a 1v1 is Gooblin trying to clutch up the series here for VGG. Wonder if they're going to wait for that scanner pickup because they have the advantage here. Scanner's down on B and it's not planted. That smoke actually could be huge. Is going to do a lot to deny vision, and they'll see the head of Gooblin peeking around the corner. Really good play from Asterix. Nice utilization of the utility from their downed opponents next to them. Keeps them alive a little longer in map 2. A little hope getting injected into this Asterix squad. Maybe they can take it to OT. Let's take 4 in a row. It's not impossible to do. They've gotten 4 already. VGG is still down a player too. They really need that they need population reconnecting. Gooblin getting aggressive will get picked off early. Knock and Robert also still pretty far pushed up here. Scanner easily could rotate A. Frenzy's all that's between them and a scanner plant there. Oh, and Robert catches 2. Silent Platoon and Mushroom. Does open up this rotation that's happening now. But Nox going to get a little overconfident. Not going to be ready for screw in behind him. Scanner goes down. Frenzy now going to be pinched from mid and on-site defenders. So they're going to go down to a bit of an overcommit. And now Robert alone in a 1v3 on the retake. This could be Asterix taking it to 5. If Robert has anything to say about it, though, that's 1. 2 more. Age comes in. It's a decent toss. They can't snap up to Sandy, and it's a 5th point tacked on for Asterix. Chipping away at this lead. 3 more to go, and they've got themselves an OT opportunity and a chance at a map 3 against VGG. It's a solid performance here on Miru EU for them. Or Miru Knight, excuse me. I guess it's EU too. But it also is a power play, if you will, because VGG down a player population. Fortunately suffering a disconnect there. I know it's going to get cold in Texas, and so that means their whole grid could go down, so maybe we lost power over there. Gooblin pushing in the smoke. They'll find 1, 2, almost 3. Make it no. Shut down. Silent denies that. Asterix keep piling in. Keep getting confident. Robert with a good nade sets the 1v2 up. Maybe they can clutch it this time. Nice flash over the top. Scanner hasn't gone down. They find 1 kill. It's a 1v1. Scanner still down on site. Has to get planted. It's a huge opportunity for Robert to work with, but Mushroom clutches it up. Asterix fight another day, another round. We go 8-6, map 2. Still alive and still fighting. BGG struggling without that 5th. There's no pause feature. Online tournaments, so disconnects of this nature are something you have to play through. Ideally, you have another player on your roster you sub in at this point, you bring into the team to fill that 5th spot. Because I think this is really starting to impact them. They really don't have enough counter utility. That's what it comes down to. Robert does get a nice kill, though, and it's a 2v2. Scanner planted. Gooblin alive as well. They've been a standout shooter so far this series. 15 kills. Both Robert and Gooblin been doing well, but Mushroom trying to put up a 20 bomb here in map number 2. Absolutely turning it on. against this VGG squad. Full commit from Robert puts them into a bind. They need to work together here between Mushroom and Sandy to pinch Robert. And as Robert commits out, they wonder, where is Mushroom? There it is, the 20th kill for them.
Match point.
8 and 7. One more to go and we're into OT. This Asterisk squad fighting back here on the offense. You'll love to see it. An unfortunate reality, though, again, is that it's a 4v3 here. Lobby broke. Oof. That's okay. You still have to play through it. I don't know all the details here as the push does come in. Robert finds 1-2 knock here as well to scoop up a couple of kills. There's 2 left alive on Asterix. This do or die here in this 3v2. They may not need that 5th anyway. VGG close to clutching it. Sandy finds things to even it out into a 2v2. Gooblin here defending and alive. A standout killer again for this team. Frenzy drawing attention on the back line. And the duo trying to split and poke and prod at this defense that's holding things down. And Frenzy catches one, swings for the second. Has to go for scan and interrupt. Not actually that soon. 25 seconds left. How do they play this? Where do they go? Sandy's swinging around wide. They certainly don't need to push. And the scanner now being interrupted. Baiting out the swing from Sandy. And Frenzy catches it. It's VGG taking map number 2, 9-7. And the series locked in by Vanguard Gaming EU. A heck of a back and forth this afternoon from these teams as Asterix nearly clawed away a victory, but it's Vanguard Gaming and Ascendancy next weekend for the semifinals, and we'll be seeing Asterix tomorrow in the losers bracket, which has now been settled. We have our 2 losers here today from the winners bracket, with Asterix going down and Relentless EU going down, and I gotta say, it's made that losers bracket a lot harder to work through with Relentless EU down there. Asterix number 3 seed right there as well. It's going to be very hard to come out through that losers bracket and go up against those teams, but we'll find out how those teams fare off tomorrow, as we do plan on diving into both of those best of 3s, broadcasting them live here on the channel, and it's not something you're going to want to miss, because that's when the pressure's on. That's when a season could be over. And then next weekend, we plan on getting into the semifinals, the last losers bracket matches, and the grand finals to determine our number 1 team in the EU region. We'll be doing the same thing next weekend for NA as well, and we actually have North America starting at 2 p.m. PST. That's in roughly 4 hours from now. We'll be diving into action with best of 5s. We have the top 8 single elimination bracket. It's done a little bit differently over on NA this time. We have the top 8 single elimination bracket coming out, and that means best of 5s. And so we'll be diving into 2 best of 5s today. I think, at least. I could be wrong. Maybe it was best of 3, but I'm pretty sure 2 best of 5s today for NA. And so you're going to want to come back to this channel to catch all of that action at 2 p.m. PST. And that's single elimination, so it is very much do or die. And then next weekend, semifinals and grand finals, we will dive into. So we also have tomorrow with, again, the losers bracket and another couple of top 8 matches for NA. And so there's a lot of VAIL postseason action ahead of us. It's not just this weekend and tomorrow. It's next weekend as well. So do please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. A big shout out to Axe Labs. I see them in chat. They've been a tremendous supporter of the VRML since our start of partnership with them. It's been amazing to have them supporting the VR esports scene, and they've been so incredibly committed to the VR esports space that we really do appreciate the prize pool they're offering, which is obviously that in-game cosmetic. It's customly made for the winning team and then sold in the store, and a part of that revenue from those store sales is shared with the winning team. It's a really cool, unique opportunity that we only do with VAIL and the VRML, and we really do appreciate the opportunity to do that. It's a big shout out to Axe Labs and their team and commitment to the VR esports space. So We really do appreciate them. We appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging out here this afternoon. But it is going to be it for me here on the EU side of things. We are going to go to a break. And then, like I said, in 4 hours, come back at 2 p.m. PST for 2 more best of 5s on the NA side of things for the top 8 single limb bracket. So don't miss that. But until then, stay classy. VAIL VRML is brought to you by XLab,
Exclaim, Helga, the esports manager,
HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching VRML.